It's Beer and Food O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we're going to show you some of Ikea's famous meatballs. So they go in the oven for 15 minutes on a high gas mark 8. They're called ALLEMANSRA TTEN, which means is everyone's right to field, forest and a fine meal of meatballs. 1,000 grams. Without further ado, let's get them in the oven. I'm not going to be doing no mashed potato, gravy, peas, anything like that. The beer of choice is a Grünbacher Winter Weisse, coming in at 5.7% ABV in a 500ml bottle. There's the bottle cap. I just want something to snack on while I'm reviewing the beer and the meatballs. Let's get cooking. Here are the Swedish meatballs. As I mentioned, I just want something to snack on, so I just put a few in. 2, 4, 6. That'll do me, with some mustard, some French mustard. And what I have is a little bit of dip from my leftover Papa John's pizza the other day. I really like the garlic butter dip. Terrific. But first of all, let's get the beer out into a glass, see what we get. Whoa, look at that smoke on the bottle opening. Beer. I'm using a pour and a glass. I only have a select few Weisse beer glasses at my disposal, so I'm using what I have. It's very important with the Weisse beer, give it a wash round. Get the yeast into the beer. That's where a lot of the flavour lies, in the yeast. And what did we say it was earlier on? I've been cooking. 5.7% ABV, so a nice kind of strength to this beer. 5.7, winter Weisse. Probably maybe some winter spices gone into the beer. Maybe brewed it a little bit stronger for the cold months. You know, something a little bit hearty, something a little bit warming. We got a one finger Whitehead. It looks beautiful, hazy amber coloured beer, good levels of carbonation. A massive thank you to Stephen in Germany for the beer. I picked the meatballs up myself in Ikea. He didn't send me the meatballs. Yeah, so thank you very much, Stephen in Germany, for the Grünbacher Winter Weisse. While I'm letting them meatballs cool down a little bit, let's get into this beer. So aroma. Peppery, spicy, malty, doughy. There's something else though. Maybe a berry or something that they've added. Can't quite detect it in the aroma. I can't quite work out what it is. So let's dive in and see if we can find it in the taste. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, definitely something. Little bit of banana, a little bit of clove. It's not overdoing it. It's not like crazy kind of big estery kind of flavours coming through from the yeast. It's not subtle. It's definitely there. The banana, the clove, the spices. But there's something else overlaying that. There's some of the flavour that's overlaying the rest of the flavours. And I need to work out what that is. Stop thinking about the meatballs and think about the beer for a moment. Maybe some smoked malt. Maybe a little bit of smoked malt. Maybe some kind of berry, red berry, something or other. Maybe, I don't know, blueberry or something. Or maybe just smoked malt. It might be the smoked malt that's combining with the banana and the clove and the yeasty kind of flavours of spiciness to trick your brain into thinking you're drinking something maybe with some fruit added. It's a funny one. It's a funny one. I'm enjoying it. It's a lovely beer. As you can hear, quite carbonated too. You can feel that carbonation moving around the inside of the mouth, releasing more of that flavour. Delicious beer, delicious beer. Right, we'll get back to the beer in a moment. Here's the Ikea Swedish. Let's do a meatball on its own first. So it's a combination of pork and beef. Classic. When you go into Ikea, very clever Ikea. You go up the escalators. I'm sure it's the same with whatever Ikea you go in, because they're big box stores, they're designed the same. You hit a first floor level, then you go up on another escalator into the restaurant. So the first thing you get to is the restaurant. So in a very clever way, you go into the restaurant, you have something to eat, you have something to drink, you give your kids something to eat and drink, and then there's a block of toilets, so your mind is free to shop. That's all that is. Cleverly, they probably sell the food at a loss. The food is so cheap in Ikea. I had a full breakfast in there when I picked these up last week, and it was £2.50. So they've decided to break even, make a small loss on the food, just to be able to well, it gets people through the door. People buy the breakfast for £2.50. They queue up for it, in fact. And then, when you want to leave, you've got to go all the way through their store to leave. And there's no easy way out of Ikea. So, you end up picking stuff up. You end up buying stuff that you don't really need, or you may have not wanted. And you go out scratching your head thinking that £2.50 breakfast just cost me 80 quid. So yeah, I like it. I mean, I like the fact that IKEA, they trapped you in, they've got you. This is their meatball. Let's dive in. Yeah. Lovely. Just for some reason they have like a Christmas, reminds me of Christmas for some reason. Really lovely. It's not a pork sausage, it's not, you know, it's not that, it's something a little bit different from that. I think it's the seasoning, the spices in there, the difference in, maybe I needed some cranberry sauce rather than mustard, but yeah, it's decent, it's good. Juicy, the fats from the meat ooze into your mouth. Really good. Let's try one with some mustard. I think it's called Miel, something like that. Mustard from France. I just wanted something to snack on while I reviewed the beer. And of course review the Ikea meatballs. Much better. I was thinking to myself just then, they don't taste as good as usual, but normally you have mashed potato, gravy, peas, something to kind of mix in with it, something to go with it. In this case, I've chosen some mustard, and oh yeah, that is like terrific now. I totally advise you go out and get some Ikea Swedish meatballs and some lovely French mustard. What a combination. And that was just me. Went into the freezer, went into the fridge, seen what was in there, put it all together, job done. Yeah, these are great. These are great. And I think it's a relatively, well, I haven't been to Ikea for a while, so maybe it's not a relatively new thing. It's a new thing for me, being able to bring the Ikea Swedish meatballs home rather than just buying them in the shop. It's a nice takeaway. It's a nice meal. You have a huge bag as well. At about £5, where you get 1,000 grams of meatballs. Oh yeah! Excited now. Really tasty. They're really, I forgot the garlic butter. Here we go. Papa John's garlic butter. Some of you might have seen my recent Papa John's Christmas dinner pizza review. This dip is from then. Oh yeah. That is so good. I'm going to mention it again. I found it not difficult, but a little bit boring on their own. The Swedish meatballs. When you start messing about and adding things and mustards and garlic dips, and it just lights up. They just come alive. The meatballs from Ikea, I'm going to give them 2 reviews. On their own, if you had a bowl on your own, with no dips, not that you would, but if they're on their own, they're a little bit boring. Probably a 6. The moment you start adding sauces and dips, and they soon shoot up to, I'd say, an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for the Ikea Swedish meatballs with a side, or with some dips. Beer, let's rate the beer. Grünbacher Winter Weisse. Schlossbrauerei Grünbach. Where are they based? Where are they based in Germany? Are they based in Grünbach? Kalleberg. Bayerisch, is it? No, is it Bayerisch? Guess you. Let's have a look. Bayerisch and Reichsbahn. Yeah, I think they're based in Bayerisch, where most of the really good beer comes from in Germany. Rating. I'm going to be honest, the head dissipated very quickly. I'm not sure if it was I had the meatballs after, so it wouldn't be the fact that the fat cut the head away. Normally with a Weizen, it sticks to the side of the glass. You've got great lacing. The head's dissipated. It's a bit strange, this one, if I'm honest. A bit strange. I like it enough to give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 from Reload Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!